Anthony Hernandez has the second longest active win streak in the middleweight division, second behind only the current world champion Dricus du Plessis. So if he beats Roman Dolidze at UFC Vegas 109, is he automatically a shoo-in for the next title shot? My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to break down the entire UFC Vegas 109 fight card, giving you my picks, predictions, and bets. But before we do that, let me brag for a half a second about UFC Vegas 108. That card was chaotic. I missed my safety parlay, but the rest of the bets did what they were supposed to do. Hit a Pulev money line, hit a 3-leg parlay, hit a 2-leg money line parlay. We had a round robin. I introduced round robins for the first time ever at UFC Vegas 108. If you don't know what a round robin is, you essentially take as many fighters as you want, you put them together, and then you tell the computer, build a whole bunch of different combination parlays. I did 7 fighters. That turned into 56 different parlays. It would take fighter 1 and 2, put them in a parlay. 1, 2, and 3, put them in a parlay. 2 and 3. 2, 3, and 4, and then you get the math. And that 7-person round robin did insanely well. We had a couple of round line overs, and overall, last night was a successful night, and we were bobbing, we were reaving. The safety parlay didn't go our way, but the rest of the bets did. And it wasn't just last night. The last 5 cards have been successful for me. I'm up 4 of 5. I lost $30 at Abu Dhabi. 4.26 units of net profit over the last 5 cards. A 19% ROI over the last 5 cards. You're watching this video for your boy, and your boy is putting in some work, and it has been a dicey year. Wild underdogs left and right. Insane scorecards all over the place. But I feel like my consistency, my unit measurement, my ability to avoid overexposing to a single fighter has been paying off in dividends. So while the year has been nuts, and while the safety parlay hasn't quite been the level of stability that we expect, the rest of it has. Last 5 cards overall have been doing well, and I'm looking to move that forward into this card, UFC Vegas 109. Here's a look at the next 4 fight cards. We're going to start with UFC Vegas 109. UFC 319 is right after that. Then we head over to Shanghai, and then we head over to Paris. These next 4 events are going to be a ton of fun. They are absolutely fantastic fights and a lot of middleweight division implications here. The UFC Paris main event could determine the next title shot. This main event could determine the next title shot. And then the actual middleweight title is on the line at UFC Vegas 319. If you want to unlock every pick, every bet, every tool, you can do so now. It's only $10. You'll get access to all this. $2.50 a fucking card. $2.50 a card. Let's be real. The greatest offering in this space, period, end of story. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Unlock all of it instantly right now. Let's go ahead and jump into this fight card. We got Gabriella Fernandes taking on Julija Stoliarenko. And this is a fight. I am actually somewhat confident in this pick here, but being somewhat confident in a couple of ladies can get you in some trouble. We got Gabriella Fernandes and a clash of styles here. She is a striker. Juliana is a grappler. Gabriella Fernandes, a powerful striker at that. She is big as hell. She's strong. She's fast. She's technical. She does a really good job getting that striking going, defending takedowns where she can. And if she is taken down, she does have good jiu-jitsu. The problem is sometimes it's too good. And she'll play the jiu-jitsu game instead of trying to scramble back to her feet. So she'll be giving up minutes, throwing up submissions that aren't really there. But overall, Gabriella is a very, very good striker who does have decent jiu-jitsu. The takedown defense in between is the problem. She is coming off that massive upset win. I believe she was something in the realm of plus 900 over Kong Wang, where you're going to see that she won by submission. But that's not really how that fight went down. She dropped Kong, had her in bad position, then pounced and got the submission. She outstruck her and then submitted her. She's taking on Julija Stoliarenko. She's a dangerous grappler. She's slick off her back and on top. Her striking is sloppy as shit. She is very hittable. You can see a negative striking differential here and a pretty wide one at that. But she is willing to brawl. She does have some heavy kicks. When she's on top, she can be very dangerous. Fantastic control. But there isn't much to offer. She's either going to win by armbar or not. And she's just coming off the absolute beating loss to Luina Carolina. And when Julija beat Molly McCann, she was a considerable underdog there. She beats Molly McCann. Everyone was convinced that she's incredible. She's at a new weight class. She's so good. Oh my God, Julia's an expert. Turns out she still sucks, and it's either armbar or nothing. She is the Temu version of Ronda Rousey. And I don't think that this product from Temu is going to last very long. I think Gabriella, assuming she could defend the takedowns here, is going to beat the hell out of Julia and potentially finish her, because Julia does not like to strike. She will turn her head. And if she can't get it to the ground, it's going to be desperate takedown attempt after desperate takedown attempt. So we're going very quickly with Gabriella Fernandez here. This is a fight. I had to convince myself. This is a fight where it started with a low confidence pick. I was like, Gabriella, low confidence. And then it just turned into, I got to go medium confidence. I got to just trust it. I can't be on the fence with all of these. So we're going Gabby, and we're going to be pretty confident in that. And then we hit Uros Medic taking on Gilbert Urbina. Uros Medic is a technical striker. He comes out fast. He's loose. He has a 100% finish rate. 10 wins, all 10 wins by finish. He's got speed, he's got power, he's got legit killer instinct, and when he smells blood, he absolutely gets after it. This guy is a finisher. He doesn't just rock you and then wait. If he senses that something's going on there and you're a little uncomfortable and you got hurt, he will absolutely go for it. His takedown defense sits at a low 55%, but that is a bit skewed because he was taken down 7 times in one fight by Motobek Oralbai. He's coming off that knockout loss to Punahele Soriano, where he was finished in under a minute. He's taking on Gilbert Urbina. This guy's a pretty good grappler. He's competent on the feet as well. He's got high striking output of almost 6 significant strikes landed per minute. But if you watch his fights, it's clear that he doesn't really have any striking defense. He's just all gas. There's no defense. He's moving forward. He'll just start swinging. He sets a great pace. He's got plenty of cardio. He can keep that going for a full 15 minutes. He's coming off that knockout loss to Charlie Radke a little more than a year ago. And this is an old school just striker versus grappler. And I'm going to call Gilbert a grappler. I mentioned he'll just move forward and he'll strike, and that's because he's not a coward. He's a man. He'll get after it. But technique-wise, he's definitely more of a grappler than a striker. Minus 300, minus 350 for Medic. Those are the odds because people said, hey, Gilbert got knocked out by Charlie Radke, so Uros can do the same. And the reality is, yeah, he does have 10 finish wins. But the difference in this matchup from Charlie Radke and Gilbert Urbina is that Charlie Radke is also a high-level grappler. So Gilbert couldn't just immediately be like, let me grapple this guy. His striking is dangerous. Where Uros does not have a backup plan. It is striking only. So Gilbert, in theory, can move forward, cover up, throw some bombs, start shooting takedowns, start doing the grapple-heavy game plan. Without the ability to threaten takedowns, it gets much harder to have that same success on the feet. I do think Uros is going to win here because we are in an era where the strikers are having more success, especially in Las Vegas, than the empty grapplers. Uros Medic is going to be the pick, but I hate these odds. Minus 350, a more than 3-1 favorite. It just seems a bit wide for me, but Uros Medic is going to be the pick. I do like the striking ability. I know Gilbert can be finished. If he was a guy that can't be finished and he was just rock solid, will get after it no matter what, then it gets a little dicier. But Uros is a finisher. Gilbert can be finished. I'm going to slightly lean Uros here, but I hate these odds. Then we have Joselyne Edwards taking on Priscila Cachoeira. This is going to be technical striker versus brawler. That's the matchup we have here. And if you are somebody that believes in clean technique, you got to go Joselyne all day long. If you think these are fist fights in a cage and you can just make it ugly and get yourself to a win, then you got to go Priscila here. And we have another fight where it seems like these odds are a bit wide. Joselyne Edwards, as I mentioned, is a technical fighter. She's a good kickboxer. She uses range well, nice variety of strikes. She'll actually kick more than she punches because she likes to manage that range. She does a good job throwing in combinations. She'll work the body. If you can get inside, you can make it ugly. You can make it gritty. Get outside of that striking range and you can have some success. She's using more of her offensive takedowns than we have seen from her in the past. She is coming off that finish win over absolute fee-fi-fo-fum giant Chelsea Chandler, where the striking and the grappling look fantastic. She's taking on Priscila Cachoeira. Priscila Cachoeira is a powerful striker. She's got heavy pressure. She throws heavy punches. She's got very real power for this division. She can be KO or bust. If you look at the stats, you'll notice that Priscilla's striking differential is about 4-7, which is insane. That means she's only landing 4 significant strikes for every 7 she gets hit with. So she's getting the shit beat out of her, but but she's still moving forward. She's not quitting. She is absolutely tough as nails, and it's in her nickname. She is coming off that KO win over Joselyne Nunes, where she was just bombing 1-2s and then landed an absolutely beautiful uppercut. This is another fight. I think the odds are a little bit wide here. I'm a big Joselyne supporter. I think I've picked her in most of her matchups. She's technically very sound. She's a versatile striker. Like a lot of other people, though, she doesn't fight nearly as well moving backwards as she does moving forward. And that could be a problem in this matchup because Priscila could give zero fucks about what you're doing. She's just going to get in your face and she's just going to move forward. I do think Joselyne, in this case, being the better fighter, having the ability to shoot takedowns. We've seen more wrestling out of her in her last couple of fights than we saw in her entire career leading up to her last couple of fights. So I think the ability to get it to the ground, the ability to manage range with kicks, and the fact that Joselyne is also not a pussy, I think Joselyne is going to get the win here. I'm not loving the 2-1 odds, and it's actually more than 2-1. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Maybe these will tighten as the week goes on. And if they do, then maybe I'll explore a bet or two with Joselyne. But as of right now, as a 2.5-1 favorite against somebody who is just raw tough and raw gritty, who will get in your face, it makes it a little kind of a hard pill to swallow. And here's a look at a lady fight from last night at UFC Vegas 108. Let me explain what you're looking at here. The top left is Carol Hossa and how many significant strikes she landed. And it was 33. She landed 33 significant fights. The piece under that is the Prize Picks line. Prize Picks is daily fantasy. If you have a sports book like DraftKings or Bet Online, they will also give you significant strike lines. And you can bet, does this fighter land more or less than that? Prize Picks allows you to do the same, but they call it fantasy instead of betting. It's a whole thing. It's all legal nonsense. 69.5 significant strikes. And when I saw the 69.5 significant strikes on Prize Picks, I said, let me see what my simulator has to say about this, because this is a woman fight. And those wild swings in women fights can be profitable for us. So I went to the simulator. I ran the simulator. I recorded it. It's in the Prize Picks video. You can watch it all happen live. I ran the simulator. And the simulator said, hey, in the 100,000 simulations of Nora Cornole and Carol Hossa, we see Carol getting 47 significant strikes on average out of 100,000. So then I take that line, that vertical line you see there, and I dragged it to the right to 69.5. And what it's doing is it's changing the calculations on the screen to say, okay, if you're establishing a significant strike line of 69.5, I'm saying, the simulator, that she is going to get under that number. I believe it was 75% of the time. So we went back to Prize Picks and we hammered that line, and this is what happened. And the reason I'm highlighting this is because people love the bets and the picks and the artificial intelligence, but the tools are an additional layer. The tools are some of the most powerful things in this space, and if you know how to use them, which I just walked you through how, you can find incredible spots, not only with daily fantasy, but also at sportsbooks. Here's a real life example on camera that we used in the Prize Picks video to find a spot and dig in. Here is a look at the fight simulator. It's available on the website right now. It's included with everything. Throughout this video, I'll talk about bets, I'll talk about pits, I'll talk about an option, I'll talk about 10 different tools and everything on the website. It's all $10. There's no upsell, there's no cross sell, there's not an additional package, no bullshit. It's $10 even. And you're going to get everything instantly. Fight Simulator is one of those tools. If you use it appropriately, if you make decisions with the information that comes out of it, you can have a great night, as we did, and that was a real life example. Check it all out now. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. It's freaking $10. It's $10 for all of it. For all of it. There's more than 10 different things on the website. That's $1 per thing. Per month. What's that, 30 cents a day? Absolute clown shoe behavior out of you people. $10 a month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Then we have highly touted prospect Elijah Smith taking on Toshiomi Kazama. And obviously Elijah Smith at minus 500 will be a very bet fighter. He'll be in a million parlays. Come fight night, he'll be minus 1,000. But we've seen some fighters absolutely blow that for us. Will he be the guy? Probably not. Elijah Smith is the second son in a father-son duo in UFC history, meaning his father fought in the UFC and now he's in the UFC. That's only the second time that has ever happened. That kind of makes sense. We're only 30-something years into UFC's tenure. He's a good grappler. He's got good striking. His hands are fast. He's got solid power. His takedowns are also fast. He does a really good job covering distance. Once he gets the takedown on top, he's got good control. Even if you work back up, he usually's got a solid right hand right behind it. He's got decent cardio, decent power. And with another win here, he's going to continue that narrative of being a great prospect. He is coming off that UFC debut win over Vince Morales, which was not an easy fight. He's taking on Toshiomi Kazama. This guy's a great grappler in his own right. He lets his hands go on the feet. His takedown defense can use a little bit of work, but even when he is taken down, he'll create scrambles. He'll start working BJJ. He is a grapple-first fighter, and he can be a bit chinny on the feet. He's coming off that submission win over Charalampos Grigoriou, where even though he won, the takeaway was this guy's a BJJ nerd. And it's not often that a prospect like Elijah Smith will get an easier fight in their second outing than they had in their first. But that's exactly the case here. Elijah fought a tough, crafty veteran in his UFC debut. That was not an easy fight on paper or in execution. And now he's getting a tune-up fight. He's going to run through Toshiomi. He's going to run through him. He's fighting a BJJ nerd. He's got better wrestling. He's got better striking. And he certainly, at least I hope so, has a submission defense. So Elijah's the pick. I'm very confident here. And minus 500, that's just the reality of the world we live in now in betting on MMA. And a lot of people say, Angel, why are these odds crazy this year? It's because the more sports betting becomes legal in different states, the more parlays these fighters end up in. So if you are a sports book, let's say you're DraftKings or Bet Online, two of the most popular, one offshore, one onshore, and you have Elijah Smith, and you set your line, let's say he was a 3-1 favorite, 2-1 favorite, but then you have 100,000 to 200,000 to maybe even more different individual parlays with Elijah Smith in it. You are now, as a company, wildly exposed to this fighter, so you need to crank up those odds. You need to juice that line so that you're protected as a business. And that's why in 2025, we're getting tremendous lines. We're also getting a ton of giant underdog wins, but it's not that more underdogs are winning than before. It's that because the lines are so wide, the underdogs that are winning are in just far more dramatic fashion. Elijah Smith should be one of those minus 5, 6, 7s that looks it. We just saw Austin Bashi be minus 5, cruise his way to minus 9, and he looked it. I think Elijah Smith, similar camp, so I think you could probably trust him, even though I'm not a giant fan of 13-leg parlays. Now this prospect, Julius Walker, he shouldn't necessarily be a 6-1 favorite. He's winless in the UFC. He is more of a state of the UFC than Elijah Smith is. But we got Julius Walker. He's taking on Raffael Cerqueira. Julius Walker is very early in his MMA career. He's only had 7 fights ever. He's 6-1 total. He has only been a professional fighter for about 2 years. His inexperience does show. He can end up in some bad positions, and then he'll just be forced to rely on his natural athletic abilities to get him through. He's definitely flashy. He's got some power. There are some holes in his takedown defense, but he's defensively sound. He can avoid submissions. He's got solid offensive BJJ. He's pretty capable of finding something in a scramble. He's coming off that fun back-and-forth loss to Alonzo Menafield in his UFC debut. That was on short notice. He's taking on a Raffael Cerqueira. This guy's, and I don't know why I say it like Luigi from Mario and Luigi. He's not Italian. This guy's very clearly a Brazilian gentleman. But Cerqueira, it's a me, a Mario. Woo-hoo. Anyway, and that was the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm losing it. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning fighting for my life, filming these damn videos, and now here I am at 7. Raffael Cerqueira. This guy fights very loose. He fights very fluid. He's not in any hurry whatsoever. He doesn't chase finishes. He doesn't even seem to throw with intent, but he can be dangerous. He's athletic enough. He's creative enough. He's got enough ground game to hang as well. He's pretty big at 6'4". He uses that size. He moves forward. He likes to get you on that back foot, but what's odd here is despite having 10 finishes, he does seem to be uncomfortable in the striking exchanges. He'll even flinch and turn his head at times. Jacob didn't even flinch when I was bashing his face in when him and I fought. You can go watch. Jacob and I fought, if you don't know, about 1.5 years ago. Just search We Want Picks, the fight. It was all in good fun. It wasn't like bum fights or anything like that. He's coming off that knockout loss to Modestas Bukauskas. Julius Walker just lost to a 40-year-old man. A 40-year-old man. He only has 7 professional fights, and he hasn't even proven himself on any meaningful level in this sport. But here he is, a minus 600 favorite. And obviously, I've got eyes. Open your eyes. Do you guys know what that's from? I'm curious how many of you know what that reference. Here you go. But open your eyes. Okay? That's a very short piece of a longer clip. I'm curious if you know what that's from. And if you do, good for you. You got a great sense of humor. I have eyes. I can see that Raffael, he kind of sucks. But he has more KO wins than Julius has fights. His 2 UFC losses, we're talking about Raffael here, would both beat Julius. And Julius probably wins here just given his sheer size and raw athleticism. But what the hell are we doing? What the hell is happening in the broader MMA gambler minds when Julius Walker, who is winless in the UFC, who lost to a 40-year-old, is a minus 600 favorite? I'm going to pick the dude. I think he wins, but as I have said many times, picks and bets are not the same thing. I'm picking this dude. I'm not betting on him, and my bets have been absolutely fantastic. I'm up 4 of the last 5 cards. And these cards have been dicey. And the reason my bets do as well as they do, and the reason I'm one of the most consistent people on planet Earth placing bets, and if you want to leave some weird hiccup, shut the fuck up, is because I don't overly expose. I'm not going to have Julius in 9 parlays. When I pick a dog, I bet the dog outright. I don't throw him in 7 parlays. Mateusz Rebecki blew out my safety parlay. Luckily for me and you, that was 1 bet with Mateusz Rebecki. I didn't have him in 10 different bets. And the other bets far more than covered that loss. And the lecture here is about avoiding insane spots. And I do feel like the risk reward here for Julius Walker is just not there. And if he wins and you bet on him, that's great. A win is a win. Fantastic. But it's not worth risking $600 on an unproven kid who only has 7 fights to win 100. You don't have to bet on every fight. 2 weeks ago, I was profitable. I only put 3.5 units out the door because I looked at the card. I said, oh, shit. Not today. Probably going to be more of the same on this card. Then we have Eryk Anders taking on Christian Leroy Duncan. Eryk Anders has a Y in his name for no reason whatsoever. His parents on the birth certificate were like, fuck it, put a Y. No, we don't need a C. We don't need an I. Just throw a Y in there. Let's streamline this whole process. I mean, it's good that he can kick my ass, so let's just leave it alone. But it's an insane way to spell that name. Just change how you spell it. Like, when you write your name down places, they don't check your government paperwork. When you go to school and the first Eryk, the kids don't know that you spelled it like an animal. And half the time they'll say like Andrew, and then some kids like, I prefer Joe. And then he's Joe forever, and you forget that his name was Andrew. Eryk had the opportunity to change this to E-R-I-C, E-R-I-C-K. Nope, with the Y. But we're going to stop because, like I said, he can kick my ass. This dude's kind of a physical specimen. Not like you look at him and like, whoa, he's jacked. But the way he fights, he is an athletic guy, and he moves forward. He's got power. He has competed at multiple sports at a very high level, and it shows. He does a really good job mixing up punches and kicks. And while on the surface, that sounds like a woman in a corner, punch him in the face, Mike. He's got good punches and kicks. I'm dead serious. He's got good punches. He's got good kicks, and he mixes the two of them together. He does keep his hands a little too low. That has gotten him into some trouble in the past. His path to victory in most fights is just be a physical specimen. Move forward, rip people to the ground, bomb away on the feet, just be athletic, be in their faces. He is rarely the more technical fighter in the cage, but he is often the most athletic fighter in the cage and the most physical fighter in the cage. And he's been very open and honest about his recent sobriety, and we've seen those results. He is coming off that finish win over a retired Chris Weidman. He's taking on Christian Leroy Duncan. This guy is a high-pressure fighter. He has 9 finishes in his 11 wins. He's a powerful striker. He comes forward with pressure, speed, and creativity. He throws everything at his opponents. But if things get heated, if he's bombing and you throw something back, he's like, nope, fuck it. I'm a wrestler now. He can be wild. He can be a little sloppy, but he is very, very dangerous on the feet. He's got solid ground and pound when he chooses to be a wrestler. He's coming off that decision win over Andrei Pulaev, where he had the weirdest game plan on the planet, and he turned into a wrestler. Christian Leroy Duncan, off skill alone, is probably the 6-1 favorite that we see here on paper. The odds makers have said this guy wins the vast majority of the time. And you know what? Off skill alone, he probably does. But once you factor in the fact that he might have an extra chromosome and he uses it to come up with his in-cage game plans, this dude drops to a -150. He should win here. He's the better striker. His takedown defense is solid. He's got cardio. All those things point to him winning a striking match. But he's an absolute idiot when it comes to game plans. And if this dumb bastard decides to cage HUD Eryk with a Y, then we're going to get a good old-fashioned American bully fest, and he's just going to push Christian around and beat him up. The problem, though, is that Anders' chin isn't what it used to be. He has been dropped in his last 3 fights. So CLD is going to have to be the pick. I'm just really hoping this dude isn't making grilled cheese sandwiches at night. Then we have the safety parlay discussion. I want to bring up a couple of things here. First of all, I've been cooking. My bets have been good. Period. End of story, an objective fact. Go back to the third slide in this video. You'll see every single bet from the last 5 cards, and you'll see consistent, profitable events. I am one of the best to do this. Now, the safety parlay is one of many bets. And for me, many is like anywhere from 3 to 5.5 units. It's just one. But I am a victim of my own success because while the safety parlay long-term is insanely stable, and we call it the beacon of stability, the last couple of events, it has not been. So what's happened? I produce a profitable night, 4 of the last 5 cards, in the chaos that has been recent events, and instead of the focus being on, holy shit, Angelo quite literally is one of the only people in this space that is actually putting up consistent, profitable bets. The safety parlay lost. What about the safety parlay? And that is a very tricky situation because, as I mentioned, a victim of my own success. Here's the tracking. If you are a premium member, go to the website, go to account. There is a safety parlay tracker that shows every single safety parlay that has ever been placed since 2022. Every single one right there, full track, win, loss, the odds when they were placed, all of it. And you will see those tracked results. 2022, the safety parlay was 11.87 units of net profit. 2023, 9.67. 2024, not as good, 3.59. But the long-term success is there. It is literally the beacon of stability because remember, these are stable bets. You can see a lot of the odds on the screen right here. They vary. We get some plus money ones. We get some even money ones. We get some mid-size favorite ones. But this isn't Jacob's Lock of the Week. Jacob's Lock of the Week can hit at 40% and still be profitable. Safety parlay has to be more consistent to be profitable because they're not always plus money odds. So my question to you, and I care more about the premium member opinions than just random, no offense to non-premium members, but premium members are the ones buying the service. My question to you is, if I stop putting the fucking name in it, does that matter? Because up money, 4 of the last 5 cards. I am going to pat myself in the back here. I should be celebrated for that. It should be, oh my God, he remains consistent. I can't believe he continues to do this. But instead, it's safety parlay lost. So if I just didn't put that name on it, and it was just a bet, and it lost, but all the other bets hit, there's no negativity. So what I need to figure out is, am I just in my own feelings because of anonymous usernames bitching about a safety parlay? Or is it a valid point? Hey, we can't help ourselves. You put the word safe, I put my life savings on it, and I ignore everything else, and I ignore all the other bets, and I ignore the fact that you put 1 unit on the safety parlay, only 1 unit, and I put 10 units. I ignore the fact that the safety parlay is 1 of 5 bets, and I ignore the other bets that you also put 1 unit on so you were equally as confident in. So the question is, what do I do with that? Do I just stop saying safety parlay, or do we stick with it? Problem is, if I stick with it, and we have another great night. UFC Vegas 108 was objectively a great night. You can't convince me I didn't have a great night. 20-something% ROI, 1.5 units of net profit when I don't put out a lot. That's a great night. Same exact story, 4 of the last 5 cards. So you can't convince me I didn't have a great night. So do we just stop calling it that so people can't get in their own world of like, okay, I just took out a loan. I just pawned the TV and we pawned the kid's crib. So we're going to take that money and only put it on the safety parlay and none of the other bets that Angelo's been cooking with. Genuinely curious of your opinion. Because if the literal name, if naming it for marketing purposes is the problem, great. But the reality is up 4 of the last 5 cards. Long-term consistent success being overshadowed by one single bet. I don't know what to do with that. Let me know. Also, I don't want to be a bitch. I don't want to be a bitch, but sometimes you put your ego aside. Let me know what you think. Here's a look at all the other shit on the website. Safety parlay is one freaking thing. First of all, my bets, the consistency there, unrivaled. Fight Simulator, the other tools on the website, unrivaled. It's undeniable. There's not a single person on this planet, no matter how much you love me or hate me, that can point out another service like ours that has anywhere near what we offer. Not one. Period. End of story. Not one. Nobody has the tools. Nobody has the variety of fantasy and bets. Nobody has the price point of $10. Nobody. And I don't think a lot of people fully understand what $10 is in this world. It's nothing. It's nothing. $10 is not $10 anymore. When we started this in 2022, it was $10. Is a dollar worth as much now as it was in 2022? No, of course fucking not. But did we touch the price? No, we're not greedy assholes. You know it's $10 without processing fees and taxes? Like it's $10 even. I eat the processing fees. And we kept it there for a reason because we understand that betting on MMA should be fun. It should be exciting. We understand that, hey, if we keep it at this insanely affordable price point, more people can use it for whatever they want. Some people want to copy some bets, great. Some people want to do their own research. They want to use the research tools, great. Some people want to use the simulator. Some people want to use the optimizer, great. At $10, more people in this world can use it, especially now when $10 is literally nothing. Nobody does it like we do. Guys, Fight Simulator is one of the many, many tools that we have to offer. We also have a tape index for those of you who like to do your own research, want to watch the tapes, do the study with your own eyes. We have a new optimizer. We have the old optimizer that build DraftKings fantasy lineups. The new optimizer also has a beginner mode for anybody that might be new to using an optimizer. It can build FanDuel fantasy lineups. Now, is that a giant market? No. I actually don't know why FanDuel still does it. But there are people out there that use it and they need it. And it is now available for you. The optimizer just gave somebody $10,000 last week. Now I'm filming this at 7 in the morning, so I don't quite know what happened to a lot of people last night. But the reality is all the tools are in one single package, and they're available for an entire month. For an entire month, you're going to get UFC Shanghai, UFC Paris, UFC Vegas 109, UFC 319. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member. At the top, it's freaking $10. And in this world, when it should probably be $20 because I'm the one paying the goddamn processing fees, undeniable value. Here is the address if you want to send something for the vlog. In that 4-fight span, we're 2 weeks away from UFC 319. 4 pay-per-views, we film vlogs. A little bit of a peek behind the curtain. Here's my life. I'm a human being. Welcome to my family and my world. And Jacob comes over and we cook some food. We hang out. We watch the fights. We do all the things. We also open mail. We'll get letters. We'll get people like, hey, I have a small business. Twill, small business, I believe in Australia, New Zealand, making cool outdoor camping and hunting stuff. Send us a hammock. I got my fat ass in that hammock and I swung from it. If you're running a small business, as a product you want to promote, a letter. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas, 75078. We do have a toll-free number for those of you who want to. We got some messages last night, I'll tell you that. It's 866 We Want Picks. Leave a message. We listen to all of them. Not whether I share all of them or not, it's a whole different world. But we listen. So I banned somebody from Discord. Discord gets wild. You guys know this. Discord gets wild. People say insane shit. And somebody, I forget what they said. I don't quite remember why I banned him. But in the heat of the moment, I was like, dude, this dude is not contributing in a meaningful way. This is chaos. You got to go. I get a voicemail. How do you dare you ban me, you dirty motherfucker? Goes nuts. Then a comment. You banned me. I actually ended up unbanning him. I appreciate the phone call, to be honest with you. If you want to leave a message, 866-WE-WANT-PICKS. That's 866-939-2687. And Jacob and I will be at Noche UFC. I'll buy you some drinks. Your $10 premium membership ends up being probably $5 after credit card processing. It ends up being $1 after everybody gets paid, right? This isn't a one-man show. Jacob makes his. The web guy makes his. The developer makes his. I'll spend that $1, though. I'll buy you a drink. See you at Noche, San Antonio, September 13th. We're going to open up the main card with Miles Johns taking on Jean Matsumoto. This is going to be a really fun fight. This is one of those fights that I've been talking about on this card where I feel like the odds might be a little wide considering the matchup. We got Miles Johns, an established veteran at this point. He's only 31, so he's not old. I mean, the hair situation makes him look a little older than he is, but he's not old. Strong wrestler, heavy hands, explosive speed. He seems to have a love-hate relationship with that wrestling because while he has it and he wrestled at a high level, he doesn't always use it in the cage. It's not a given that he's going to shoot some takedowns. He fell in love with his hands because he knocked a bunch of people out. He's coming off that tricky loss to Felipe Lima where we saw the power, we saw the toughness, we saw the wrestling, but he was just literally wasn't as good in the fight. Taking on Jean Matsumoto. This guy's a well-rounded kid. He's got black belts and accolades in multiple martial arts. He can initiate offensive takedowns while staying a busy striker. If he's taken down and he ends up on bottom, he stays busy, he makes you work, he creates scrambles, he'll throw things up. He's a creative striker, a wide variety of kicks and counters. He can get hit, though. He's plenty tough. His cardio can push through. He's coming off that insanely close loss to Rob Font, where, frankly, I thought he won. He had 7 takedowns, a small cut on his face, and it was literally the size of a paper cut. That little paper cut and 2 drops of blood were the difference between judges saying he won and he lost. This is great matchmaking. This is a great fight. It should be a ton of fun. I am a little biased and I'm a little chapped here because, as I mentioned, I thought Jean won his last fight. I thought he did enough. I disagree that 1 small cut outweighs striking success and 7 freaking takedowns. With that being said, Matsumoto does get hit a lot, and he does cut too easily. And this is in Las Vegas, a state that really only cares about damage at this point. We saw how insanely tough Miles John can be. I know he can wrestle. I know he has power. I believe that these last few years he has dialed in his cardio, so I like the dog here. I'm going to pick Miles Johns. At 2-1, almost 3-1 for Jean Matsumoto, it's insane. I don't know if I'm going to have the courage to straight up bet Miles Johns as is, but maybe plus 3.5. Plus 3.5 bets paid pretty well last night. All the dogs that I picked, plus 3.5 would have worked. I think. I might have just made that shit up. Did I make that up? I don't know. Plus 3.5 for Miles John might work here. He's definitely good enough to win a single round and tough enough to not get finished. So I'm going to love that plus 3.5. So because I'm going to bet on that side, I need this to, I need Jean to be a minus 500 favorite. So maybe we can get plus money out of the plus 3.5. And if you don't know what that is, the plus 3.5, and you're new here, that is betting the spread. Every judge has to score every round 10 points or fewer. And I'm saying fewer, not less, because there's proper grammar involved when Big Ange is talking. And when you score 10 points or fewer on each individual round from each individual scorecard, you end up with a pretty big number. Then you can buy 3.5 points to add to that pretty big number. And the way the math works out is if Miles Johns wins 1 single round on all 3 judges' scorecards, doesn't get finished, that bet cashes. Probably going to place that bet, but we got to wait for those odds to drop. Then we have Andre Fili taking on the prospect killer, Christian Rodriguez. Andre Fili, very well-rounded guy. Insane amount of hype in the past. He's unbelievably talented. His chin won't always be there. His decision-making will not always be there. Style-wise, though, he's a well-rounded technical brawler, and he has wrestling. He gets hit pretty often. You can see that in the striking differential here. But he has fought a lot of high-level fighters. Andre Fili is a guy that had insane potential coming from a great gym. They immediately gave him really, really tough matchups. He's got solid takedowns. He averages over 2 per fight. He'll hang out for a striking match. Takedown defense did fail him in his last fight where he was submitted on an entry. Not his takedown defense, his takedowns. He shot a takedown against Mel Costa. Mel Costa said, not today. Subbed his ass. Mel Costa also just beat Christian Rodriguez, but that fight was a little different. Christian is a slick striker. He's got solid movement. He's got good speed. He has decent takedown defense at 69%. But he has been taken down 25 times so far in the UFC. He has established himself as a prospect killer in multiple divisions. He has 6 wins in the UFC. Every single one of those wins is over a prospect. His losses, however, are to more established fighters. People who don't get frozen by the bright lights. People who don't have random hype behind them. He's coming off that loss to Mel Costa, where he had a wrestle-heavy game plan, and he did start to take over late, but it was just not quite enough. C-Rod has yet to beat somebody with more than 2 fights in the UFC. Think about that. He's got 6 wins, and none of them are over somebody that has more than 2 fights in the UFC. But here he is, a 2-1 favorite over a solid and battle-tested Andre Fili. The problem, though, is that Andre is not very reliable. We don't know if he's going to grapple or strike. We don't know if his chin is going to hold up. So this is a tough pick for me because Andre is the better fighter. I think he is the more skilled fighter of the two, but he's not a guy that you can trust. And C-Rod is gritty, but he struggles against well-rounded, experienced guys. I think I'm going to lean Andre here. This is a pick that I might change later in the week, but I think for right now, I'm going to lean Andre because of just his actual raw skills. I think he's going to be a little faster. I think his striking is going to be a little cleaner. His offensive wrestling is probably better. Defensively, it's pretty good. He hasn't fought somebody like really trying to take him down. This should be a really fun fight, and it likely determines the trajectory of their careers because neither one of them can really afford a loss right now. Christian probably more so than Andre, right? Christian's still young at 27. This is a good fight. I'm going to slightly lean Andre Fili here. This might be another plus 3.5 spot instead of just an outright bet. Then we have Iasmin Lucindo taking on Angela Hill. I just said Christian Rodriguez is the prospect killer. Angela Hill is the old lady that won't go away. She just keeps winning random fights at 40 years old. And she just did so against Ketlin Souza. But we got Iasmin Lucindo on the other side. She's a big grappler. She uses her speed, her power to clinch, to drag you to the ground. Once you're on the ground, she's got solid top pressure. She uses strikes to loosen you up, and then she'll transition to submissions. Her striking is just okay, though. She essentially waits for you to throw, and then she'll counter, she'll rush in. Just a lot of like, to get you to the cage. Her game plan is always end up on top and control from there. She's coming off that decision loss to Amanda Lemos, where she landed, let's put it this way, they both, combined between the two of them, 16 strikes in 15 minutes. That was not a good fight. And this might be more the same because while Angela Hill is a high IQ veteran, and while she's a busy striker with good speed and volume and versatility, she doesn't really have any power, and the takedown defense is okay. Angela Hill is good everywhere, but not a threat anywhere. The only finish she has had in the last 20 years, I happen to bet the round line over in that fight. Angela Hill's not dangerous, but Angela Hill is busy. She is crafty. She's got all the experience you could ever imagine at this level. And we just saw that with the win over Ketlin Souza, where she was quite literally just too fast and had too good a cage control. And this fight could be another weird situation where Iasmin Lucindo should win. She's got powerful strikes. She's going to come forward. She's got big, gritty wrestling, and she should be able to smother Angela and drag her to the ground. But if Angela stays on her bike, avoids being held against the cage, reverses those positions, she could win this fight quite literally exactly the same way she just won her last fight. So I don't know if I'm being just typical fence riding Ange, or if a lot of these matchups are way closer than these odds. Remember last week when everyone said Neil Magny plus 3.5 is free? That might be an Angela Hill thing. Angela Hill, I'm going to have to go through her fight history in detail. She probably covers that spread more often than she doesn't as an underdog because she is a crafty veteran. She is durable. She's got skills everywhere. And you'll see her record, 18-14. 18-14 is an indication of how many insanely high-level fights she's been in. Let's not focus on she's lost to 14 people. Let's focus on the fact that she has been fighting at this level, both prospects and established veterans, for an insanely long time. She's not slowing down. She's not looking old. She's not chinny. Angela Hill could sneak this out. I'm going to lean Iasmin because I think she literally will bully her way to a win. But we just got smoked by Angela Hill in her last fight if you were on the other side. Could be more the same. The plus 3.5 here is probably a lock, but the plus 3.5 here is going to be minus 300. So there's no value in that. I think Iasmin should be able to bully her way to a win, but if you're betting on this fight, I mean, you need Jesus Christ if you're betting on this fight. Grab a rosary, give me 2 Our Fathers and a Hail Mary because you should not be betting on this fight. You shouldn't be. That's an insane thing to do. And if you pray to a different God, pray that God. Maybe he can help you because you need help. Do not bet on this fight. Then we have the tape index. It's an index. I can't express, it's an index. INDEX. Show me where this says we host illegal copywritten videos. It's a tape index. You know what an index is? Who didn't go to school? It's an index. What this does, though, is it very seamlessly lines up every single fighter on every single card, your current fight card and future fight cards, their full fight history, who they fought, how that fight went, what the scorecards were, what the odds were, all of that information lined up. And if there's a little red play button, you click it and the video pops up. Now, sometimes that video is coming from Fight Pass. Sometimes it's coming from ESPN. And in a few months, when the UFC does a new broadcast deal, it might be coming from another source. But instead of you having to figure out where the hell these videos are, we've got it all lined up, ready to go. And not just the video, but that fighter's full fight history and all the other information. It's just a tool. And it's a tool that helps you save time. It's a tool that gives you precious minutes back in your day. And it's one of many tools on premium members. It's $10 for an entire month. This is one of many, many things to help you week in and week out. Then we have the co-main event of the evening, and the Genius Bar employee is back. We got Steve Erceg taking on Osbourne. This is a short notice matchup between the chaos that was Amir Albazi dropping last week and shuffling fighters all over the place. We lost Steve Erceg's opponent, and Osbourne said, I'll do it. And it's honestly probably a gift for Steve because he's on a very unfortunate losing skid. And it might have been more of the same, but we got Steve Erceg. People like to call Steve Erceg a striker. The reality is he's an accomplished wrestler. I called him a striker. I called him a grappler last week. I said Park was preparing for a grappler in Steve Erceg. And people were like, what are you talking about? Steve Erceg's not a grappler. He quite literally is, though. Open your eyes. He quite literally is. Not only is he a grappler, he's an accomplished grappler. He was an Australian national champion wrestler, meaning he put on the spandex. He went on the wrestling mat and he ran through everybody else in that country at his weight class, and he was the best on that continent at wrestling. That's not an accident. He's an accomplished wrestler. He took those skills. He started competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments. Steve Erceg, at his core, is a grappler. Now, in the octagon, we've seen him striking. He's had some success with his hands. Striking defense isn't as good as his striking offense. He doesn't mix in as many takedowns as he should, given his accomplishments. Steve Erceg is a guy that beat a bunch of people, got to a title, and has not found success since. He's coming off the most recent loss, which was to Brandon Morono, where he was outstruck and attempted 0 takedowns whatsoever, which is insane. Could you imagine spending a giant chunk of your life to be phenomenal at a skill that is insanely beneficial in fistfights just to not really use that skill? What the fuck you doing? What the fuck you doing? Is he making grilled cheese sandwiches at night with CLD? They need to switch game plans, you dumb dick. Let CLD be a striker and you be a wrestler. Oh, got it. He's taking on Osbourne. Osbourne's a southpaw striker. He uses range really well. He likes to keep people at the end of his punches. He's got a ton of power, great finishing ability, especially at 125 pounds. He has 6 wins in the UFC. He has takedowns in 3 of them. And while he might squeak in the occasional offensive takedown, his takedown defense is a problem. And it's the reason for his last 3 losses. All 3 of those losses were because he was taken down. He's coming off that KO win, though, over Luis Gurul just a few months ago. And I spent, 30 seconds raging about Steve's wrestling credentials, and that's because he fucking needs him in this fight. You stupid asshole. Can you hear me? You fucking giant antennas on the side of your head, can you hear me? You should be wrestling. Why are you trying to strike with some of the best strikers in the division? Mix it the fuck up. Ode Osbourne is faster than you. He hits harder than you. He's probably a more technical striker than you. Don't try to strike with him. It's not like you don't know how to wrestle. You have spent countless hours on the mat. Wrestling, not jiu-jitsu nerding. Not the fucking... Those of you who have never trained, there are real takedowns, like good old-fashioned American wrestlers like me, and then there's the Brazilian takedowns. The Brazilian takedowns are like, shoot a shitty double with no penetration step, and then curl your leg around and pull him over. That's some dumb shit. That's some dumb shit. Steve Erceg has real takedowns, not the fucking Brazilian take. No offense to guys. I wrestled my whole life. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 plus years. I love Brazilians. I love them. But let the Americans show the takedowns. Come on. You learn from the Japanese. Now learn from the Americans. Bingo, bongo, bazongo. Steve Erceg just fucking shoot takedowns. And if he shoots takedowns or even threatens takedowns, that'll open up the striking. So I'm raging a little bit because I will never understand people who have a wide variety of skills and don't use all of them. Steve Erceg is going to be the pick because he is a well-prepared fighter. He shows up in shape. He shows up ready to go. He seems like a pretty intelligent dude. So hopefully he drew the same conclusions I did and everybody else did that said, Ode's a dangerous guy. And he's stepping up on short notice, so he might not have the gas tank. Let me push that gas tank by shooting takedowns. Because the takedown defense isn't very good. Wrestling is exhausting. And I need a fucking win before they cut my ass. Steve Erceg is going to be the pick, but if this idiot doesn't wrestle, Jesus Christ. Then we have the main event of the evening. We have Roman Dolidze taking on Anthony Hernandez. I opened this up by saying Anthony Hernandez has the second longest active win streak. I believe it's 7 wins in a row. Maybe it's 8. The only person that has more active wins at the middleweight division is the current world champion, Dricus du Plessis. And Anthony Hernandez, I'm going to start on that side, has turned himself into a big Marab. He is a cardio demon. Anthony Hernandez moves forward. He's a good grappler. He averages not almost 7, more than 6, we'll say, takedowns per 15 minutes. That's not per fight because he's been in some 5-round fights. That's per 15 minutes. He's got decent striking. He's got good wrestling entries. He's a BJJ black belt. I believe they call him the black belt hunter, the black belt killer, something like that. Incredible cardio. And cardio can be weaponized. And he's probably going to look to weaponize it here, but it's going to be a tricky situation because he's taking on Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is a world champion grappler, a phenomenal grappler. He has showcased those skills on more than one occasion. He has absolute bombs in his hands. He's got a granite chin. He has no problems marching forward and boxing you up. He has no problems getting into an ugly, dirty, gritty fight. He has no problems engaging in a grappling match. Roman Dolidze is not particularly fast, but he is powerful, he is well-rounded, and he is very dangerous. He's coming off that back-and-forth win over Martin Vettori, where neither one of them ever grappled. And I know Anthony, we'll call him Fluffy, Hernandez, beat Rodolfo Vieira. And I know Rodolfo Vieira is as accomplished of a grappler as Roman Dolidze is. Maybe more. I don't have their individual credentials memorized. But Roman is different. Roman is a grappling beast. Roman, as a grappler, is an animal. For example, here's an example for you. Phil Hawes, unbelievable wrestler, had a beautiful duck under takedown over Roman. And then Phil Hawes on the mat immediately lost his leg. Roman separated his leg from it. He lost his fucking leg. You're going to see Roman won by TKO. That's because he removed the leg from Phil Hawes' body. And then you're going to say, Angelo, that's a wrestler, okay? Angelo, that's how you talk, not me. Angelo, he's a wrestler. A stupid example. That's fine. Let's go see what happened when black belt Jack Hermanson did the same. He took down Roman instantly in a pretzel. Roman fucked that dude up on the ground. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think Anthony will have busier striking, but it won't be powerful. I think he will feel some of Roman's powerful hands and be like, fuck, dude, I need to shoot a takedown. And that's not quite the safe space that it was against Brendan Allen. Roman Dolidze on the ground is an animal. The problem is the cardio from Anthony Hernandez is next level. This could quite literally be Umar versus Merab. And if you remember that fight, Umar Nurmagomedov was winning the first and second round in that fight. He won those first 2 rounds. He was clearly the better fighter skill-wise in the first and second round against Merab Dvalishvili. Then Merab just stuck with the game. He changed nothing. He just stuck with it. Kept the cardio going. Kept the pace going. Kept moving forward. And he took over the next 3 rounds. These cardio demons can win fights purely off of pressure and pace alone. Obviously, Anthony Hernandez is very skilled. I just don't think he's more skilled than Roman in any individual thing. He's not a better grappler than Roman. Roman is quite literally the more accomplished grappler. And in the octagon, the more successful grappler. Anthony is winning fights with takedowns and control. Roman Dolidze is ripping body parts off of people. Striking-wise, Anthony's probably a faster, busier striker. You can see the numbers, quite literally landing more strikes. But Roman is the more powerful striker. Takedown-wise, Anthony definitely has the better takedowns, but as I pointed out, people who have taken down Roman in the past immediately are getting fucked up. They're immediately getting fucked up. This is not as easy of a fight as a lot of people think it is, but I do think if Anthony's able to keep the pace, avoid any chaos on the ground, keep his legs safe, he'll just take over, end up winning 3-2, something to that effect after giving up a round or 2 early. That's the breakdown, guys. I am going to lean Anthony Hernandez here, but before I leave, can you download the app, please? It's free. The app is 100% free. It's 100% free. And you'll get push notifications through the app with it being 100% free and you not even being logged in. You don't have to be logged in the premium. You'll still get push notifications. The difference is the push notification won't tell you the bet that I placed. If you tap it, it's not going to go anywhere. But you will get push notifications about other stuff. Any chaos that happens on fight night. It wasn't like a month or 2 ago that we lost 2 fights on fight night. Push notification went out to the thousands of people who have downloaded the app and said, hey, whoa. This just happened. New content alerts, things like that. If you are a premium member, inside the app, you have full access to every single thing on the, except the tape study, every single thing on the website, including the fight simulator. I showed you earlier a slide of how the fight simulator won us money, directly won us money. Doing the Carol Hossa under on significant strikes. The tape index is not in the app because iOS has app restrictions about apps opening other apps, but the tape index is available on the website and any mobile browser. I keep mentioning the app because the push notifications are nice, but the reality is every single thing we do is available in any mobile browser you could ever imagine. Desktop, mobile, Opera, Chrome, Safari. What's that? DuckDuckGo? Is that one? All of them. It works on all of them. The optimizer works in the app or on the website. The data analyzer works in the app or on the website. This is the single most powerful tool for research. You quite literally don't need to go into the tape index is built into this as well. So you don't even need to have a second window open. Just pull up your fight card, go to each fighter. You select your fighter, pull up their stats, their opponent's stats. Then you can just filter data while going down. It'll take care of everything for you. Incredible research tool. Line movement tracker. This will give you opening odds, current odds, win probability, line movement for every fighter on every card. The Prop Hunter, curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. And it's more than just me. And I'm the one who's been killing it lately, so I'll brag about these guys. But the reality is, BetSam has very, very good bets. And he was one scorecard away last night from cleaning up. Artem, I call him the regional rain man. We're about to hit Dana White Contender Series season. Artem is crushing regional cards, small show cards, Contender Series cards. We also have an artificial intelligence that's picking fights based solely off of historical data. Everything I mentioned. The 5 cappers, 4 humans, 1 robot. All the tools. It's $10 for an entire month. A whole month. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. Good luck this weekend, guys. Anybody bitching about this fight card probably bitched about last week's fight card, and that card was incredible. Stop complaining. Enjoy the fights. Appreciate every last one of you.